Alright, as you know, a few days ago, Shaman came out on the Wynncraft 2.0 beta, and everybody was kind of freaking out. So I'm now here to show you the different types of archetypes, the upgrades, what they do, and the proper builds for them, and how they could be like utilized properly. So honestly, let's just get straight into it. For the first upgrade, we get Totem. Summon a totem that damages enemies around it every 0.4 seconds. That's just as simple as throwing a totem down, and it's just AoE damage. But something they did do in the new update, what they did instead, is they actually made the totem have a vertical range. If something is slightly higher, if the totem is like on a higher level, it will still be able to hit things that like it normally couldn't, because what used to happen is the totem would only hit things in its direct AoE radius. Like this block, it would only hit things now, but it now has a lot of vertical range. So say if I were to throw my totem up here. That's a horrible example. Wait, if this citizen were to walk in the radius, yeah, see, the citizen starts getting hit. So it goes straight up and straight down. It's not really like a cylinder, it's more like a sphere, because it wraps down and then probably ends around here. But yeah, that's a really nice change that they made, and I'm really happy about that. So let's go to the next upgrade. Double your main attack's beam spread and increase your damage when using a relic. All this means is it gets spread out a little more, and you double your attack damage. It's as simple as that. Reduce the mana cost of Totem. Pretty simple, not really much to say here. Your totem will deal damage where it lands. So this was an upgrade in the past version. It just does it has new particles, which is really nice. When it lands, it kind of creates a little like particle burst around the totem itself, not like in the AoE, which I really like. I like that because it gives you more of an indicator of how far the totem actually can hit when it lands, because you couldn't really tell before, if I'm correct. I like it a lot better. Haul. Leap towards your totem. They actually nerfed haul a pretty significant amount in this update. You don't get as much vertical momentum unless you do something like hauling twice. So if you launch up and then haul twice, and then that's the only way you can really make it work as it used to, but you get a lot less vertical momentum. For the beginning, I am probably going to go with Distant Grasp, just because in my opinion, I like it better having a tighter like range for my beams, because you get to do more up close and personal damage. Unlock Uproot. Uproot, throw a rapid projectile that will explode and knock back enemies away. Pretty simple. Just explodes and knocks back enemies as its first upgrade. Nothing crazy. Just the mana cost of haul. Pretty simple as well. Emit an aura from your totem that damages enemies. I think they changed the particles on this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they did. I don't really know, but what I'm really not a big fan of is the fact that I loved the Skyseer like aura effect on the main servers. I really liked it, because it was like these white swirls, and they looked a lot better. So for the Skyseer, I wish they made this specific aura thing that same kind, but keep this AoE the same like color and stuff. The only thing I wish to change is that. Alright, for the first archetype we're going to go down is going to be Acolyte. Acolytes use their own health to support others and damage enemies. So these two are just elemental damage increases, so it's pretty simple. Increase your base damage from all thunder attacks. Fire. This side, we get Aura will travel at a much greater speed and deal additional damage, which is, I can show it here. As you can see, it goes on much faster, and it does even more damage too. Aura is kind of crazy. Obviously not as crazy as it can be, but in the moment, it's still really good. Upper will now explode or knock back enemies, but will deal its damage 3 times. All elemental conversions become fire. Okay. I'm not sure if it means like it'll deal 3 times the damage, or if it'll... Oh, okay, I got it. So it will actually hit 3 times instead of having one massive explosion. Doesn't it do that much... Oh, it does a significant amount of damage. It does around 7k. Well, at least with this build. Morph and Cyro. That's like 7k. First major ability. Your totem will siphon 2% of your health every 0.4 seconds and transfer it into a blood pool. Aura will use 15% of your blood pool to deal 50% damage and heal all allies. This is really good. So it takes all your health, and when you get to a certain amount, you can use Aura, and it does additional damage. But it also heals you back. What I've noticed with this upgrade is that it actually heals you back more than what it absorbs. Maybe not this upgrade, but... Yeah, not this upgrade. But it will heal you back at a certain point along the tree. It will heal you back more than it actually takes from you, which I really like. Once Aura reaches its maximum range, it will bounce back and deal its effects a second time. So... it goes and then bounces back. Outside of Totem's range, Hall will teleport you to it. People have already been abusing this because it's ridiculous. You even get momentum upwards after you actually hit the totem. You can do this and then teleport. I feel like it's too overpowered. I don't personally like it that much. I feel like it's just too broken. It doesn't really make much sense with the Acolyte archetype either. Like, I guess they can just throw in like an upgrade that just kind of makes the user experience better, but to be honest, I feel like this is just kind of too overpowered. You could throw your totem, run like really far away, and then just snap to it with no problems whatsoever, because as long as you're outside of the range, it will teleport you to the totem, which I don't know why it's like that. It's something else. This upgrade, increase your maximum blood pool by 30. Your totem will give damage bonus to yourself and allies standing inside its range. This is really good. Even 20% might not sound like that much, but if you take into consideration the fact that I was doing like, I don't know, 7k aura before, now if you look at the blood pool, we go to like citizens over here, we check the damage. 29k, 20k, it's doing like 9k, maybe even 10k damage. When it used to do like, I don't know, 6k, 7k. So it's like 3k more damage. Which honestly doesn't seem like that much. But when you're hitting a lot of enemies at the same time, which is what Shamans are used for, it adds up. Oh yeah, so this upgrade makes soul point regen actually useful. For every 1% soul point regen you have from items, gain 5/3 life steal. So, you might as well use that extra soul point regen on stuff, because it will actually help you if you're an Acolyte main. Reduce the minutes cost of Hall. When hitting an enemy with your main attack, use 1% of your blood pool and add tether to them. This is cool. I really like this because this makes you like really think when using what's it called, Acolyte. Say there's an enemy outside the range, you're using your blood pool, you hit them. When you're standing inside of the range, they will also take the damage, and then you could use Aura to cast out and do that while still being tethered to them, which is it's really good. Like this archetype is mainly around like a lot of life steal and a lot of mana steal with maybe healers on your team, because it siphons a lot of your health, but the more health it siphons, the more you can kind of spam it. Which honestly, let me think about this really quickly. The more health it siphons, just skip over this part, I'm just kind of blanking. Alright, next ability. For every 1% water damage bonus you have from items, can buff Aura's healing power by 0.3%. This is extremely identical to Mage Lightbender ability. It's like almost the exact same thing. Increase your maximum blood pool by 30%. Pretty cool. When yourself or an ally gets hit while standing in your totem's range, add 25% of the damage taken into your blood pool. This is... yeah, if you're on a team with a lot of people, this adds up a lot, and it becomes really overpowered. I can't really test that anyway to really show, but that's really good. Increase Twisted Tether's damage. Increase your maximum blood pool by 30%. And the final ability. Uproot will use 70% of your blood pool to cast a destructive beam that damages enemies every 0.2 seconds. You cannot attack while in that state. Yourself and allies will receive 3% health as extra overflowing health instead. Decay 1.5% of the bonus every second. So I guess I can just show this if I just throw my totem down. Get to around 70%. And if I go hit something with uproot, you'll see it shoots up this beam and does a lot of damage. It's like a really precise beam, and it goes on for a pretty solid minute. I do seriously think Acolyte needs buffs because on its own, it's not that good of an archetype, in my opinion. Because it's like Fallen but worse, in my opinion, obviously. All right, so that's basically the whole archetype. Some of these other abilities aren't part of this, but my personal opinion for this entire archetype as a whole, I mentioned it while the upgrades are going through, but I do believe if you want to make a good Acolyte, you either want to get a build with a lot of like life steal and mana steal, along with team with a mage or something, just so you can have that sustain. And honestly, you might just be able to sustain just with the life steal mana steal, but this is definitely recommended towards life steal and mana steal builds because health regen is not going to help you when it comes to it draining your health constantly. Because no matter what, you're probably still, you're basically, if you're spamming aura with this thing, you're almost always going to have like not a full blood pool, so you're going to want as much life steal as possible. So when you hit, I don't actually know if life steal is blocked, actually. I might have to do some research on that, but if it's not blocked, I would recommend going life steal because you can use the aura to hit mobs. So when the aura hits the mobs, it'll get the life steal back, which will drain into your blood pool more and allow you to do more fancy stuff. But I definitely think Acolytes need some buffing. It's just not that good on its own. But we can honestly go do some tests and fight stuff while I wait for the next upgrade. As you can see, it's ridiculous because I'm not even trying to fly like that high, and it's just flinging me like crazy. I want to go south because I'm gonna try going near Scrapyard just to show that Acolyte's not that effective. Even with a good set, even Acolyte still won't be that good of an archetype. If you're really skilled at Acolyte, it might be worth it, but it just drains so much of your health and it doesn't give enough back to you where it's actually gonna really give you like any kind of advantage. See, what the thing with Fallen is, at least with Fallen, you get a ton of damage bonus, like when you drain when you're at low health. See, but the thing with this is it doesn't even do that. It only gives you like a 20%, 30% damage bonus overall, when Fallen gives you up to like 400% or something like that. It doesn't seem very balanced at all. Like, Fallen in almost every way is better because they're both on low health. Fallen still out carries the damage. But honestly, what I recommend for Acolyte is mixing archetypes, which I'll talk about later. You get the uproot beam, you can kind of just spray stuff and use aura. Oh no, you can't actually use aura. But something else that's really good is you do get a health boost, which would make it worth using. See, like the blood pool, if you're constantly using aura, the blood pool is constantly going down, and you're just not gonna have that life sustain you need, because if you're using your main attack damage, your health is still going down, like a lot. So you basically can't attack, or else your blood pool will go down, and you won't be able to survive at all. Like almost always, you have a really high chance of dying. I'm gonna wait for the cooldown to be done so I can switch to the next archetype, which is going to be Ritualist, and I will see you there. Right, time for Ritualist. As always, you go Totem, and these first two upgrades will not change, but this time, I'm going to go for the main attack. We'll throw 2 beams instead of, I guess I can just show that really quick. Instead of, increasing the beam speed and decreasing its spread, it actually kind of does the opposite. You hit a lot more mobs, they don't do as much damage, but the spreads are really far, so you can hit a lot of things at the same time, which is really good. If you're for Ritualist, this is probably something you want. So I will show you how Ritualist works. Okay. Lock Mask of Lunatic ability. When casting Uproot, instead wear Mask of Lunatic. While wearing this mask, gain damage bonus at the cost of less walk speed and reduce the mana cost of aura. Alright. So, using this will summon Mask of Lunatic, which will increase the damage of aura and decrease your walk speed. This does a lot of damage. This is really good. Not only does it decrease the cost of aura, I think it decreases the cost of aura. Wait, let me see. Yeah, it reduces the mana cost of aura and does more damage to it overall. And for the, I feel like to balance this a little more, I feel like it should have a few more negative effects besides just walk speed. because to be honest, like, if you get a good walk speed build and damage build, it won't even matter. Like you'll literally have less aura spell cost, and you'll be able to do as much damage. So I don't really know how I feel about that. I feel like it's just, I feel like it's a little bit, Mask of Lunatic alone is a little bit too broken. I feel like it needs to be, there needs to be a few more negative benefits, like 1 or 2 more negative benefits that would make it so you need, using Mask of Lunatic would only be something you need in a very specific situation. Like maybe decreasing the walk speed a little more, or maybe something like you get, I don't know, negative health regen or something, right? So when you use Mask of Lunatic, you only want to use it for a short amount of time because that damage bonus is only going to help you for a certain amount of time because it will like drain your health while you use it because it's like, you know, it's something like that. I feel like that would be better. But for the time being, yeah, I feel like it's a little bit too overpowered. Increase your totem's area of effect. This is, I've done this. This is ridiculous. 4 blocks is a lot. 4 blocks goes all the way out here. This is a giant radius. I don't understand this at all. I really feel like, I don't know what they were doing when they made this. This is like ridiculous. That's such a big range. Like, you can hit mobs so far. It's too overpowered, in my opinion. When wearing the Mask of Lunatic, killing an enemy with aura will cast a new aura dealing minus 70% damage at its location. This is cool. This is basically just, let me really find something I could show this with. Okay, so we got a citizen. I'm very sorry. You have a citizen right here. Use aura with Mask of Lunatic. You kill it with Mask of Lunatic. It will summon a new aura at that location with different particles. That will just deal minus 70% damage. And this adds up. Like, if you're killing a lot of mobs, there'll be a lot of auras coming out, all doing a good amount of damage, plus your main aura with Mask of Lunatic. So you gotta think about that. When casting Uproot, instead wear Mask of the Fanatic. While wearing this mask, gain resistance at the cost of less damage bonus and reduce the mana cost of Totem. So this is more of a, so it decreases your damage bonus. It adds resistance, it decreases your damage bonus. It makes Totem cost less. So this is kind of designed around, I want to stay in my Totem range, and I kind of want to just like, I want to be tanky, stay in my Totem range, I want to heal. No, actually Totem doesn't even really heal in this. But yeah, so this is more around, say if you're using Mask of Lunatic, you do a lot of damage, you're getting kind of low. You want to switch to Mask of the Fanatic so you can Totem and then haul, so you can get away, have all that tankiness, and not deal damage because there's a negative damage bonus. It's kind of like a flea. Almost, it's kind of just like a really fast, like, I'll show you how it works. So you're spamming, whatever, you switch this, and you, that's a bad example. Then you Totem, haul, and then you, oh my god, I'm so bad using this. And then you switch back to Lunatic and then spam somewhere else. Or you can just sit there with Fanatic and get the, you can just tank a few hits. After switching from a mask to another 2 times, gain 30 mana. This is kind of like giving you rewards for switching between your masks a lot. You use a lot of stuff, right? Make everything, you spamming this, and then you're gonna get more mana over time, which is really good because it's helping you. What I like about these archetypes is it kind of pushes you towards doing a certain playstyle, which ends up becoming your main playstyle in the end. It benefits you from using the mask because, like, once you use the mask, it's kind of like the main gimmick, and it's pushing you to use that gimmick, and then giving your rewards from it, which I really like the way they did it. It's really unique. Anyways, enemies hit by aura will be pulled towards your totem. Amazing ability right here. All I have to say is just amazing. Getting all the XP in the XP parties. Seeking Totem. This is funny. This is really funny. While wearing the Mask of the Fanatic, your totem will move towards nearest enemies outside of its range, which is really funny. It's like, it's probably the stupidest upgrade I've ever seen, but it's like actually like hilarious. I'm not sure if they count citizens as enemies. Don't know. Probably not. Okay. Just because I really feel bad about killing a lot of citizens, I'm gonna head out here so I can show you if it's in a decent range. If I'm using Mask of the Fanatic, my totem will move towards mobs outside of its range, as you can see right here. Yeah, see? It's so weird. It is really weird. I don't know how to feel about it. Even though, like, your totem moves towards mobs, you still get negative damage bonus, so I wouldn't recommend auraing too much. It's a really, I'm not exactly sure how you would play, Fanatic that well because it really reduces the cost of Totem. It gives you less damage bonus, but also makes the Totem go towards things. I don't really understand what the goal of this was, but nonetheless, it's really interesting. Kind of wacky, but you know, you always have to put one of those kind of upgrades in your trees somewhere along the line. Masquerade will need -1 mass to switch the trigger. This is the giving 30 mana for every mass switch. Boost mana given by 10%, or -10, not 10%. When casting Uproot, instead wear the Mask of the Coward. While wearing this mask, gain walk speed at the cost of less resistance and reduce the mana cost of fall. So you get more walk speed, but less resistance, and also reduces the cost of fall. If it's not obvious enough, this is a mask of the get the hell away from things. You know, you launch it and you get a ton of walk speed and everything. Your haul costs like literally nothing. You can just kind of go as far as you want. So this is kind of how you want to do. Lunatic, spam aura, right? Switch to Fanatic, have Totem seek things. Don't really know what to do here. And then if you get real, Master the Coward, haul, get away, and then you switch back to Lunatic, and then you start spamming, and then you go back to Coward, and then you spam, and then you switch back to Lunatic. Yeah, it's kind of, that's kind of, and then the more you switch, the more mana you get from it. So it's not like when you go to flee from things, you get mana, so you can probably save yourself easier when you actually use haul and Totem. So I really like that. I love the way they did this. It's like actually really cool. Chant of the Coward. When switching to the Master of the Coward, damage knockback in nearby enemies. I probably should find this. I'm sorry, but they get knocked back a significant amount. Honestly, they're like you're getting grouped up by stuff. You just switch all the way Coward, then you Totem away, and then you get mana for doing so because of the mass switch masquerade thing. Unlock Chant of the Fanatic. When switching to the Massive Fanatic, temporarily gain massive resistance to yourself and allies. I actually kind of didn't realize this existed, to be honest. I don't remember this very well. So you get a lot of resistance in an area that is just shown. Gives 80% resistance, only for 8 seconds, but if you think about that, what was the original amount it gave? It gave 50%. Okay, this is really crazy. It gives 15% resistance to self already when you switch to the mask, but it adds an extra 80% to you and allies. Or is it just? Yeah, no, it is yourself and allies. So you get like 130% resistance, which is like actually like a lot for 8 seconds. Now it kind of is pretty apparent what you use this for. Everyone's getting kind of low, taking a lot of hits. Boot, Master the Fanatic. Everyone gets that bonus. Like this is really good in raids, like specifically Canyon Colossus. Their Canyon Colossus is like ridiculous and brutal in terms of the damage the mobs do in some areas. So you just push the Fanatic, everyone gets that damage bonus, and you can kind of just sit there and switch all the way back to Lunatic, and then use your totems to, you know, do aura. That's what it's designed for, at least. Every 1% thorns you have from items gain 1% water damage. When wearing the Mask of the Coward, haul will make you bounce off the ground 3 times at increasing speeds and deal damage to nearby enemies. So, switch to Mask of the Coward using haul. It's kind of like it reminds me a lot of a Mario triple jump, like in the Super Mario series games. You start off slow, and then the third jump is extremely high, which allows you to use your totem again and launch. But every single time you land, you also do damage to things, so you will, like, if I do that, it's pretty hard to show because of the totems on the way, but if I can probably show this here. Wait, nope. This is really bad. So if I do, so landing here probably? No. I think it's on if you have to do it in the third. 1, 2. It's really hard to land that, but it does help if you actually hit it. Especially if there's a lot of mobs around you, which is the reason on why you'd be playing to begin with, honestly. Mask of the Awakened. After saving 200 mana from your mana reductions, cast Uproot and make yourself wear the Mask of the Awakened for 20 seconds, giving you the power of all masks at once. Love this. What I've seen, this is pretty balanced. I like it a lot. Well, one of my personal favorite final abilities. Because it fits so well with the entire theme of Ritualist. Like, honestly, if I want to actually make this work, I have to just spam aura. It's really hard to get this to work. You see, if you see, I keep doing this. It saves a lot. It does take quite some time to get up there, but that would be expected. Honestly, if you're in like a really tough situation, you're spamming aura, you switch to Master Fennec, you're spamming aura and stuff. Like you're eventually gonna get there. Might not be as fast as you want. And then you switch to, you know, Fanatic. Yeah, it's really easy to get with Fanatic because you get a ton. It also might depend on your build. So what I'm thinking is, I'm wondering if spell cost reduction items will have any effect with the way that the the amount of saves. I'm not sure if it will tie into just with the upgrades or will the upgrades and items. So say for example, one of your items decreases your aura spell cost by, I don't know, 20%, right? So will that tie into the upgrades for like Mask of the Lunatic, and using that will actually save more, allowing Waken to be summoned faster? I don't know. I have to find that out. But now that I have 200 awakened, I can show you what it looks like. Get all the masks at once. Everything costs basically no mana. It's amazing. You do a ton of damage. You get a ton of damage bonus. You get a ton of resistance. You get a ton of walk speed. See, there's no negatives and there's all positives for about 20 seconds, which super creative. I love it. So let's go show some gameplay of this. I will go to Scrapyard again, so let's see what happens. Also, while I'm heading over here, I should talk about the way the archetype kind of is supposed to be played. It's one of the hardest archetypes to play. I definitely think that you need to have a high skill set if you really want to attempt trying this, because it's hard to get used to on its own, but adding the fact that there's so many different ways you could play it is just like makes it a lot more, like, it increases the difficulty a lot. So I have to be really careful here, because I have to go Master Fanatic, right? You go like this, and then you go Lunatic. Like, I'm not good at playing this at all, so don't get mad at me. Yeah, I'm not good at playing this at all. It's just so hard to play. That's why, like, you need to be like really good at Shaman if you want to be good at this. Yeah, especially, I also am kind of stupid for soloing Scrapyard myself, obviously. But yeah, it's hard. It will take time to get used to. But when you're good at it, you will be a really good Shaman user, I'll tell you that. It's so worth it to attempt to use this, because the different bonuses, if you actually like get really comfortable with the switching to the different bonuses and negatives and know exactly like what is going on, and especially in PvP, I can imagine this being really crazy. So yeah, that's basically all of Ritualist, and I'm gonna go on to the final archetype, which is Summoner. The most overpowered one ever. See you then. Alright, so we are on the final archetype, which is Summoner, my personal favorite. Earth and air. When hitting the ground after using Haul, deal damage around you. So instead of the totem doing damage when it lands, it's you doing damage after hauling to the totem. Which is, it's almost the same thing, but it's different. I believe it's different. Yeah, so you get little particles below you, and it does do damage. Pretty cool. Increase upwards range, and if you hit your totem with it, reset its duration. This is in the base game. Love it. Absolutely amazing. Your totem will summon one puppet every 3 seconds. They throw knives at nearby enemies every 0.5 seconds. Awesome. This is the main gimmick. So you basically put your totem down. It does damage. You use aura, for at least for early gameplay. You do aura. Puppets will get summoned. And then they go fight. They only fight aggressive mobs, so it's kind of hard to show this here. But yes, they will kill stuff, and they're very scary. But they're also cute looking. Look at their faces. They also stay when you switch up your Shaman weapon, which is really good. Increase your max puppet by 1 and reduce their damage. For another puppet, minus 5% damage is not that much of a decrease. I feel like 10 or 15% might be worth it. Especially with the amount of puppets you get added. Like, eventually, like, later down the path, you get a lot more puppets, so 5% isn't that much. Enemies hit by nature's jolt will be slowed down. So if you land and hit a mob, yeah, it will get slowness. Pretty good if you're landing in an area. Like, if you're, like, hauling towards a location. Does it work in Scars? Probably doesn't. But if you're hauling towards a location, this is probably your best bet. When your puppets have 3 seconds duration left, they will run towards enemies at high speed and explode and deal damage. Awesome. Can't really show here because there's no enemies. But yes, it's really cool looking. Hitting enemies with uproot will make your summons focus them and deal additional damage. So now I can show you what their little attacking animation looks like because I can focus on this. I'm sorry. The poor citizens are getting beat to death this episode. I'm sorry. You will be remembered. So they kind of just whip out these little like, they're missing like every one of their shots. They're like ranged AI. They're the ranged mobs, so they just do way too much damage when they hit. But yeah, so the citizen's walking past. Not even the focus. If I focus it, then you'll see it. They will change, and then let's see if do they run towards if you focus? No, they only run towards even if you focus your uproot on a passive mob. They will not run towards it unless it's a hostile mob, which is good to know. Increase your maximum totem by 1 and reduce the totem and aura's damage. So they'll still do damage on impact, but the damage is a lot less than what you'd expect. Of course. Increase your max puppet by 2 and reduce the damage. Reduce the mana cost of totem. Reduce the mana cost of aura. A lot of these are reducing the mana cost of things. Pretty interesting. Increase totem's damage. I feel like there's a lot of small upgrades. Hitting your totem with uproot will summon an effigy that will attack enemies and push them towards your totem. This is really good. Like I said again, I'll say it again, but Shaman really turned into taking all the XP and XP parties. You just focus. I think it's only when you focus on a mob that will push enemies towards your totem. I think, not sure. But yeah, they push everything towards your totem. Not sure what would happen if there's 2 different effigies trying to push mobs in an opposite direction. Never really thought about that, but that would be really funny. All you need to know is effigy is really cool. Uproot will slow down enemies. I believe this is in the base game. Not sure. I think it is. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Your totem will heal yourself and allies standing in its range. This is, I feel like this should be like one of the first summoner upgrades because it just makes the most sense, but it's not. You get a little bit of heal every second. So every second you stand the totem. Increase your max effigy by 1. See, my problem is if you have both effigies, if you focus an enemy, they will both go there, which doesn't really make much sense because they don't. I feel like if you have 2 effigies out and focus with the totem, only one of the effigies could go there. But if using your uproot on another enemy will make that effigy focus, will make only that effigy go to that other enemy. So let me give an example. So like. You use this, all the mobs focus, and both effigies go over. But instead, what would happen is all the puppets would focus, one effigy would go over. But using uproot on something else while they're already attacking that will have the puppets stay there, and have the other effigy go and get the other mob and push it towards the totem, which I think would make a lot more sense. Because having 2 effigies wouldn't really. It's not like it's gonna increase the speed of it pushing mobs towards your totem. It doesn't really make that much sense. So I would recommend that change. Increase your maximum totem by 1 and reduce totems and aura's damage. So you have 3 totems. All of them. They all summon their own puppets, along with effigies. And you start ripping through things, as you can see. This without aura, by the way. With aura, this gets a lot crazier and may attack like. I'm not even at the final upgrade. This is already like a broken class. Aura will temporarily increase your summon's attack speeds. Don't know if I can really show this that well. But if I do this and I don't know. It's really hard to show. but they do get increased attack speed. Just you gotta trust me on that. Last upgrade. When your summons kill an enemy, gain 1 max puppets. This is ridiculous. You get a maximum of 10, and I think they die pretty quickly. Oh, for 20 seconds, which is a really long time. A really long time for a lot of puppets doing a lot of damage, along with the RPG pushing mobs toward your totem, along with your main attack, along with your aura. All of these different damage things, they all add up in the end, and you just do a ridiculous amount of damage to Summoner. But something I should mention while running over here is that I was talking about cross pathing earlier, but if you cross path Summoner and Acolyte to get the mana or the blood pool, having 3 totems with a blood pool will mean that it drains your blood, or drains your health 3 times faster and gives you it back 3 times faster. Which is, it's currently like broken. I don't know if they're gonna change that because it's ridiculous. It does way too much damage if you have a lot of people. But now that I'm here, I'm gonna show what having this is like. You throw your 3 totems down. You focus the summons on one enemy using this. Being extremely careful. I died. Okay, I'm gonna run back. Anyways, now that I'm back here, I'm not gonna die this time. I'm gonna show you what this is like. Getting all your totems in the range. And aura spam. Along with getting a few effigies. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. So getting an effigy. Yeah, see how many puppets there are? Along with all the totems, this is ridiculous. Oh my god, lag though. You got a ton of lag. You got 2 effigies, they both focus the same mobs, which I don't like. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of puppets. There's too many puppets, actually. You got a DPS build, this is just ridiculous. And then you see they run towards enemies when they're about to die, explode, dealing more damage on top of the 5 million projectiles that are flying at these things anyways. So, it's something. It's definitely something. I'm gonna try not to die here, but if I throw my 3 totems down and spam aura, hopefully I can survive. I probably won't, but... See, the range mobs do a lot of damage. Kill this dude. This dude does a lot of damage, but yeah, I can kind of solo scrap, like barely solo scrap with this, if you do this properly as well. But mixing the archetypes makes this a lot more bearable. I might die here. I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead here. Dude, soloing scrap with Shaman's pretty hard because of the range mobs. But this plus the extra range upgrade would probably be really good. Like the extra totem range, so you can hit a lot of mobs far away. But yeah, this is like insane. And with that, I'm probably gonna end the video while getting decimated by mobs. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.